What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about no contact, when to do it, how to do it, and why you're doing it wrong. So I feel like the number one, I'm going to give you like a lot of rule of thumbs in this video, okay? And I feel like the number one thing with no contact is a lot of women do it wrong. If you have any type of attachment to it, if you're looking for any type of outcome, if you have any type of feelings towards it, meaning if you're wanting him back, if you're wanting him to realize your worth, if you're wanting him to chase, if you're doing it for power dynamics, anything like that, you're doing no contact wrong, and you're doing no contact for the wrong reasons, okay? Especially if you're not honest with yourself and you actually do like the guy and you do care for the guy and you do it. There's a standard involved. I mean, sometimes you're just like, you know what? No, I value myself more than I value this bullshit, or more than I value you. I'm done with it. Okay, I understand that. But a lot of women would try to this power, facade where they're like, no, I'm going to hold back. I'm not going to say anything when they want to, and they really are outcome dependent and dependent on this guy's actions. And then he doesn't do anything, and then she comes crawling back. Nothing looks more pathetic than that. Okay, so don't ever do no contact for a power dynamic. It doesn't look pretty in the long run because the guy knows he has you. It's the actual no contact, the following through that makes you look powerful, which leads me to the second thing. I guess rule of thumb number 2. No contact means no contact. That means no 30-day shit, no 2-week shit, no 90-day shit. If you decide no contact, you should assume I am never, ever, ever, ever going to hear from you again. You are never to initiate. He initiates. He initiates no contact, okay? Or the communication after no contact. You never initiate again. So when women come to me and they're like, I'm doing 30-day no contact, I immediately I leave their ass on red. I don't respond to them like you're an idiot. Like, no offense, ladies. What does that even, because you're not even in the right headspace. I hate when women try to play games, but they don't have my course, or they listen to like 15 dating coaches. You don't know how to play the game. Stop playing games. Keep it simple. You have standards, realistic standards. If he doesn't meet those standards, you call it out, okay? He doesn't meet it again, you call it out again, be a little more stern. And obviously he can't follow through, he's an idiot, you just leave. You do no contact, which is kind of the rule of thumb, the third rule of thumb here, which is no contact is the absolute last resort. I'm not like other dating coaches. I don't like the hot and cold shit. I don't like the mind games. I don't like the playing. I like communicating. I like saying, hey, Billy Bob, whatever the guy, Jerome, whoever, I don't care who you're dating. I like consistency. I think consistency is nice. Who would know? I don't like you saying you're going to do one thing and then going 3 days without talking to me. Like, that's just not cool. I don't care how you say it, just hold your standards. Again, realistic, and I always emphasize realism here because women get really upset when a guy doesn't talk to them every day. I don't care who you are. I'm not talking to you every day. That's just how it is. So it has to be realistic standards. If he's not like blowing up your shit, if he's not taking you on these amazing, I know women who would be like, I was in his town and he already had plans with his friends and he didn't cancel them to see me, even though we're long distance and it's very hard for me to see him. I wouldn't cancel all my friends either. Who are you? Like, no, like realistic standards, ladies. So you have the standards. He doesn't follow through. You give him a couple warnings. You try to communicate. And when I say communicate, you have to understand it's if you guys are on the same page. If he says, okay, I'm sorry, my bad, I understand what I did wrong, yada, yada. Okay, cool, we're on the same page. If he says, nah, fuck you, this is just me, you gotta accept it for who it is. You're like, no, I don't. Then you just drop him. Let the guy chase. But no contact should be like the final straw. Meaning, you know what? I gave you a couple chances. You just can't click up here. You can't make it happen. You just don't value the same traits I do. Whatever they are. It could be honesty, communication, trust, consistency. I don't care what it is. He just doesn't value them or put them as a high as a priority as you do, at least in your interaction, your relationship. So you got to let them go. You got to let them go. You got to do no contact, which is the rule of thumb number 4. When you do no contact, it means you are never, wait, maybe I already said this one. You're never going to reach out again. No contact means no contact. He reaches out to you, okay? I think I already said that. But he reaches out to you 100% of the time. So now the next thing is, okay, well, he reaches out. He reaches out. Say it's, I don't care how much later it is. It could be a week, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 3 months. Doesn't matter. The next thing, I guess this is the next rule of thumb, I guess. Instead, assume he doesn't want a relationship. Assume he is back in for the assets. I don't care if he comes back and says, I miss you. I don't care if he comes back and says, I love you. I don't care if he says, I'm a changed man. He has to prove it. And this is why I like my course so much. Get the course, ladies. It's down below. Just click the link. I tell you exactly what to say in an ultimatum. I tell you exactly what to say when a guy comes back. I tell you what guys are thinking. I tell you what guys think when I tell you all this kind of stuff. You understand the male psychology, and I tell you how to hook men so you don't have to deal with this situation. But the thing is, you should always assume when a guy comes back, it's for the benefits. It's for the assets. Why would he change? If he was already treating you like shit, don't take this the wrong way, ladies, because it's not your fault, but what makes you so special that he's just going to change all of a sudden, change his ways to get with you when he's already had you, right? It doesn't make sense. You should assume that I always tell women this too, if he does come back around, why would you assume he wants a relationship? Don't you think guys who are going, guys go towards what's most advantageous, the path of least resistance, like the least risk? Don't you think a guy, if he did come back, he would try to get it in first, before he has to commit? Like, he's going to try to get it in before he has to pull plan B. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to tell her this instead and be more of a loving boyfriend type of guy. Like, no, he's going to try to get it in. He's going, I miss you, baby. I this, I that, come back, Howard, all that kind of. Hey, he can come back and say all that kind of stuff, but if you've been talking for 6 weeks or you had 6 dates and he pulls that shit, you need to come back and say, hey, you know what? That's all cool, but you have a XYZ problem, whatever the problem was. Communication problem. I'm not about that. If that shit's fixed, great, awesome. But just so you know, I'm wanting a relationship, and that shit isn't gonna he has. I'm not saying to say that, but he has to know what the problem was. If it's fixed, maybe even ask him, how do I know you're not gonna do this bullshit again? And then he needs to know you want a relationship, and you shouldn't settle for anything less. That might push a lot of guys away, but it's not going to push the wrong guys, it's not going to push the right guys away. Hopefully it pushes the wrong guys. It's not going to push the right guys away, the guys who truly like you, who truly want a relationship. But women don't like doing this. They don't like doing it because they're like, well, it's going to push him away. He's going to walk away. He doesn't like me enough to do. It's like, well, okay, then save yourself some time. Get a fucking backbone. Save yourself some time. This guy's not the one. He's just not the guy for you. I mean, that's just what it is. Deal with it. So, like I always tell women, you get mad at guys for what they do, but you lower your standards so much that you fear losing, or because you fear losing them, you lower your standards and you keep them around. Then you wonder why they're doing what they're doing. Why wouldn't they? You're easy, So, and I know that sounds harsh, but that's the reality. Women, if you all had standards and you all upheld, it's high standards, like not like high maintenance, just humane standards where you're not going to be treated like shit. You'd be shocked on how much men will change if women across the board were just like, no, that's not okay. Like if every woman, I told my client this the other day, if every woman in the world, guys can be watching this, they say it's not true. It is, trust me, I know men. If every single woman, just like we all agree in America that $1 is $1, that a $5 bill is a $5 bill. We agree with that across the board. It's kind of like legal in law, but we still agree with that. If every woman across the board said, I'm not going to date it, or I'm not going to sleep with a dude unless he licks the bottom of my fucking feet, the bottom of my boots. And every woman, and people are like, that sounds stupid. If every woman literally held that standard, guess what? Guys would be fucking bootlickers the next day. They really will. They'd be licking the bottom of boots. That's just what it is, because that's how desperate people are. If women will not put out unless guys lick their shoes, and across the board, all women held that standard. Let's say their guns held to their head. They have to hold that standard. Guys are going to be licking boots. That's just how it is. But unfortunately, the problem is there's women out there who lower their. It's a competition thing, ladies. It's like, well, if I can lower my standards a little more, maybe I can get this guy or this guy. Maybe I'm more open-minded, whatever. But instead, he takes advantage of you and not this girl. This is how it is. So, in a nutshell, no contact should not be done to get a guy back, to make him realize he lost you. Anything with feelings involved, power dynamics, to get him to chase, nothing like that. You're going to lose. You're going to lose because you're outcome dependent. No contact is supposed to be independent of outcome. You don't care anymore. It's like that Drake and Josh episode. Not that I watched Drake and Josh, I just know this episode and that's a show, what is it, Disney Channel? I don't know. Back in the day where they're best friends, and was it Josh was tired of his friend Jay or Drake, whatever, just pulling some bullshit. He's like, I'm done. And he's just like, I'm not even mad at you, bro. I'm just done with you. I'm not even mad. I don't hate you. I'm just done with you. That's how it should be. You're just done. You're tired of it. It's exhausting. It's annoying. It's not an asset to your life. Just get it out of here. So that's how it should be. Secondly, it means no contact forever. You should assume you're never going to hear from him again unless he actually reaches out to you. And if he does, he needs to know the standards. He needs to fix the standards. He needs to realize what he did. He needs to be questioned. Well, how do I know you're not going to do that shit again? What changed? I know you're questioning a lot, but it's deserving. And then he kind of has to prove it. You just don't let a guy back in. That's lowering standards. Things like that. So with that being said, ladies, I know, what are we in? 12 minutes now? I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Let me know if this helped. I love you all. Take care and peace.